Well, well, well. What do we have today? This is today's trade recap, and I am going to go over my reasoning for the trade. I pull up to the market. I see that we're still interacting with this 4-hour fair value gap that I marked on Monday. So I come into it and I'm seeing that, we're still interacting with that 4-hour fair value gap. So I'm probably going to be favoring the buy side. So I'm looking for buying opportunity. But if selling opportunity presents itself, I will be quick to switch my bias. So I come in here and I dial down to the lower time frame and I see that, we're tapping into the 4-hour. We tapped into it and then pushed all the way up, interacted with some minor buy side liquidity, and then pushed price back down. So I was just looking for entry opportunities, perhaps off a fair value gap or perhaps off an inversion fair value gap. Let's bar replay and then let us get right into the recap. Market opens, does this thing, grabs liquidity on the upside. I mark that, pushes back down. Straight off the rip, I see that there is a fair value gap, a 5-minute fair value gap here that price can interact with. So I am paying attention to that. So I'm like, okay, let us see if we can get a tap into the fair value gap here and perhaps get a push to the upside. So we come here and then price just grabs minor buy side and then pushes down. So now I'm just looking for price to interact with a fair value gap, and depending on what price wants to do there, I will look to structure myself in a position. So price comes and taps into this 5-minute fair value gap, taps into it and rejects it. So as soon as I see that, I'm like, okay, we probably could have gotten an entry in here, but we did not. So I am just going to wait for price to push back down and give us an entry to go long. The price comes, does that, boom, taps into this, pushes up, and then starts trading back down. But I am patient because I was looking at this 5 minutes. So price does that, boom, and then shoots straight into the 5-minute, but still respects it. So at this point, I'm like, okay, one of two things can happen. Price can either respect this fair value gap and then push back up, or it can just invert this fair value gap and keep heading to the downside. So I am just waiting to get an entry signal. So I was looking for an inversion of a bearish fair value gap on the 1 minute to get inversed. And once that got inversed, I was looking to go long. So we've now inversed this 1 minute bearish fair value gap. So now I'm looking for opportunities to go long, but it inversed it and extended all the way above it. So I'm not interested right now in a trade. I'm just waiting for a little pullback, a minor pullback, so that I can position myself. So I'm like, okay, let's just wait for another retracement back into this fair value gap, possibly, because we're not going to try to take longs from here. So I'm just like, let's just wait till price pushes back down into the 3-minute inversion zone, and then we can find our entries depending on what price does when it reaches that zone. So price then now pushes deep into this fair value gap. As price entered this 3-minute fair value gap, the lower quadrant, I'm like, okay, I like it. I'm not gonna wait till it goes deep into it. I'm just gonna get in here in case price doesn't fully tap into this 5-minute fair value gap. Simply put that stop loss below the 5-minute fair value gap. Price taps back into this 5-minute fair value gap. I'm able to position myself as price was dropping. I literally caught a falling knife. And I usually don't like catching price as it's falling. But at this point, I'm like, okay, we already missed our entry point. So I'm just waiting for another tap into the 3-minute and I will enter. First, take profit at 1 to 2. And then second, take profit potentially at 1 to 3 in case price wants to keep running. So price keeps trading down, keeps trading down. I'm like, okay, it's heading close to stop loss. But if we do respect this 5-minute, then we should be good and we should see a push to the upside. So price comes in here and then boom, immediately taps back into this 5-minute fair value gap and then pushes up. So I'm like, okay, perfect. We've positioned ourselves in this trade, so let's just wait to see what price does. We push up, we tap into the 5-minute, we start pushing up. I'm like, okay, nice, nice, nice. And then we get this rejection candle. I'm like, okay, that's pretty nice. And then boom, we push up, we start pushing up, and then we push back down into the 3-minute, tap into it, and then keep pushing up. And then we finally hit TP. So at this point, I trim most of my position, but I have an alert below this 2-minute bearish fair value gap. So at this point, I'm just literally just waiting for price to either trade into my second TP or give me a signal that it may want to reverse so that I can just exit my full position. So price came, does that. I'm still waiting. I'm still in the trade. I'm still looking at second TP possibility. And then price gives me that inverses this 2-minute. As price inverses that, I'm like, okay, like I'm pretty much done for the day. We're in lunch hour, so I'm not interested in being in this trade. Exit the full position here for a nice reward, and I was done for the day. And then price just boom tanks. But at this point, I am already out of the trade. I am done for the day. I've taken my profit and I am out the market. So this week was not that bad. This week was a decent week, quite frankly. And if you go back to my previous videos, you will see that, if I had followed all my rules, this week would have actually been a perfect week. We would have been able to profit every single day of this week. But I was tampering a bit with my rules. If you guys enjoy this trading recaps, just let me know down in the comments. Give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. I will continue doing these daily trade recaps, and I think I'm probably going to be doing like weekly recaps as well, just to go over the trades that I took for the week. That is that for today's trading recap. Thank you for watching my video. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel to continue getting trading content. Hit the bell notification so you can be the first to receive my videos, and I will see you guys on the next video. Peace out.